Hi, this is Neil, and we are here in India, and we've heard many terms such as child bride, child pornography, child labor. But one of the terms we have not heard very frequently is child soldier. I'm sitting here with Diggs from Nigeria, and Diggs was a child soldier. Diggs, tell me about what happened, how you became a child soldier.
Well, a certain time in our life, things like this do happen, and in Nigeria it did also happen. As far back as 1967, the rebellion issue began. A certain part
And
of Nigeria.
how old were you at that stage?
I was about 16.
So about 16 that you got recruited.
Yes, I was 16. But there are lesser, those who are even younger than myself, who were also recruited to ensure that we fought for the freedom of our states, whatsoever that we called it.
So was that like a civil war that was taking place in Nigeria?
Yes, it was a rebellion. A rebellion, a certain region of the nation wanted to get out of the country, which is the eastern region, so-called eastern region.
And so this eastern region is also a very rich oil region.
Yeah, it's a very rich oil region. That's the mainstay of the nation, because the eastern region comprises of greater part of the oil producing states. Bayelsa, River State, part of Delta State and all that, we are all in the oil producing states. And this is the eastern region.
So you got recruited by who, and did you have a choice?
Well, there was no other way you can do, because it comes to a time when you would have to stand out to say you want to do something that either you like it or not, you have to do it, because if you don't do it, nobody will do it for you. Like in the eastern region, we have the minority, which is the oil producing area, the Ijos, where I come from. And now at that period, the eastern region, we don't want to break away with the rest of the east, and so we decided to cross over to the other side, to the Nigerian side, to fight for River State and for the country.
Was this a conflict that you believed in at the time, as a child?
No. In fact, our knowledge at that time, my knowledge at that time, could not be compared to that of the sophisticated minds of the politicians. We really don't know what we are fighting for.
So you were being manipulated?
Well, certainly, because where the leaders will lead you is where you will go. You cannot rebel against your leaders, because they hold the yam, they hold also the knife.
Okay, and so how many years did you end up serving in the military?
Yes, we started serving the war area. The war time was 30 months.
30 months. So
yes, that is the war period. After the war period, you serve as long as you want to serve.
So the war ended.
The war ended in 1970.
And then you chose to stay on in the military?
Yeah, you have to stay. If you like, a lot of people stayed and grew older, very much older. But others decided to. I left to study, because I felt most of my time as a youth was expended in the military, in the war. And I was lucky not to have been killed.
So do you see that as a lost youth?
I think so. Because it wasn't a good thing. The only thing that one would say is that you stood and fought for your nation. Otherwise, it's a complete nuisance. It's rubbish.
What is the psychology of being a child soldier? When you're looking down the barrel of a rifle, shooting somebody or being shot at, what goes through your mind as a child?
Well, you see, the mind is being manipulated by the elders, because you have senior people that leads you to the war, and you follow the instructions of these elder ones, because they know what exactly war is like. They must have experienced it. They have lived longer on earth than those of us who are young soldiers that are trying to come into the scene. So what will be in our mind is that it's an open mind. It's just a green shrub. You see, it could be bent anyhow, it can be twisted anyhow it is. So we are so open. My mind was so open. Not until that I have grown up that I would have asked certain questions. Why must this be like this? But in that state of that nature, I couldn't question such authorities.
Mm-hmm.
Today I can stand out to question.
So,
even if my community is going to war, I think I should stand out and ask, why must we go to war?
that's right. Now, 40 years after the rebellion, 40 plus years after the rebellion, do you feel that that was with the experience you have now gained, the 40 additional years of wisdom since that war ended, do you feel that that was the right choice that the community had made?
I never would agree that such decisions should be taken anytime. I think it's the wrongest thing to do. Because even if one is agreed, there are several areas, several ways, several points in which one could address issues. It's not by going to war. At the end of the war, what have we achieved? To me, I ask myself, what I have put in is not what I am getting. I was going in for something that maybe I was fighting for freedom of my community, freedom of my state, freedom of my nation. But is the freedom, even now, is it there? The freedom is not there. The freedom I thought as a kid that the elders were leading me to was a genuine freedom. But up till this moment, the freedom of the common man is not there.
Now, in today, you serve as a tribal chief. You are our chief of your region.
Of my community.
Describe what that's, how you came to be chief. What's involved around this title?
Yeah, what really brought me into this level was that, one, I served as a soldier. I fought for my people, I fought for my nation, and I have been able to do one or two things. And behind that, my fathers were the founding parents of my community. Today, my community will call it Tumbia. We are the founding fathers of Nyanko Tumbia. And today, we have several other communities as a direct material or offspring that royalhood. I was elected or appointed in our own traditional way to head Brigade community, which is very close to Boni community. It's an oil producing area.
So how many people make up your community, and inside of the area of responsibilities that you have for these people?
Yeah, we have more than 40,000 people in that area. But the issue is, do they have the necessities of life? Oil is being produced in that area. The mainstay of the country, oil, which is the black gold, is in that area. But today you don't have water, you don't have nothing to go by. So automatically one had to stand out. You see, sometimes you don't need to hide your feelings. You need to speak, because there are certain people that would come to your own aid. The people are suffering. Because from one community to the other, there must be water crossing each of these small settlements. And they move from one, sometimes they cross heavy seas. And when waves, as they cross, sometimes the waves will cut them in the way across the sea. Many a times they are drowned, but nobody hears. The media is not there to say. Nobody hears about what is happening daily in those marine areas, in those oceanic areas.
Now today, Nigeria is one of the top 10 oil producing states in OPEC.
Yes.
So there's a tremendous amount of wealth. But is that wealth being distributed to the people?
Yeah, the problem is that we have the masters of the country. Now, who are the producers of this wealth? The wealth belongs to us. The wealth is embedded in our land, and we need to inherit it. It's our heritage. But our heritage is being taken from us. And when you speak about it, you are shown the way out. You are treated as, in fact, you are nobody. We don't have a say. It was that has made recently the youth to revolt against the federal government. You see? So the wealth is not being put back. What is taken out from the land is not being put back adequately. The peanuts are given. And these peanuts are given to people to fight among themselves. That is what I have always stood against. And that is why SHEP, Today, some parts of River State are against Shell operating in their land. For instance, the Goni area. They stood against it.
And you've opposed it for a number of reasons. One is the exploitation of the country, the exploitation of the wealth. But the other side has also been the environmental side.
I am so much concerned about more on the environmental aspect. Well, even if I am hungry, if my life is given to me, I can stay hungry and fend for myself. But if my life is taken away from me, if my environment is not there, it's not secure, then I have no life to live. Then I have no generation. I have no future. No generation will come. My generation cuts off from me. If I die, my generation is gone. And so it's applicable to every citizen that is living within the coastal fringe of Nigeria. You see? So the essence of environment, in fact, I am afraid if after myself and my children, that environment will still exist. It will certainly be extinct because, for instance, when we were young, some several years ago, 40 years ago, yeah, we can go to the waterfront and catch fish and feed ourselves. We are not looking at government. But today, government has taken over everything. The life of the individual is in the palm of the government, of the politician. And these politicians, when they are elected, when they are put in a place, they are separated, they are cut off, as if they are tin gods, they are not human beings.
No longer part of the society.
Yes, they are not part of the system. They are differentiated, totally cut off from the system. So, leave my environment. Let me live in my environment. And if you are taking something out of my environment, you must put back something to ensure that that environment lives.
So one of the things that you have expressed has been the concern of how much power Shell Oil Company has in Nigeria. Do you think there is a future where the communities and the oil corporations could live in coexistence and actually collaborate for the better of society?
Shell has their own operational system, which has not been very good. The operation is that they connive and had their bargain with the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Shell hasn't come down to the community to negotiate and talk with the landowners. The first and foremost, if you found an oil in a place, there are people that are living there. God has put some persons there. You do not go to the offices outside the environment to discuss about the wealth or anything you want to take. For instance, as we are in India, we had our permission to come in here. We don't just jump into India. Otherwise, you'll be put somewhere behind the bars. You must talk to people. People will tell you where to stay, where to sleep, how to go about this. You negotiate with people. We are not against people taking oil or taking anything away. But our future, is it guaranteed? It is not. They go to the federal government. In fact, in the past times, if the Amadabo or the Amainabo or whatever, the paramount ruler talks, they send soldiers and crush him. They kill several traditional rulers. It happened in Ibochel. It happened several. Look at Ken Saro-Wiwa's case. He was just taken off overnight. Extrajudicial killing. See?
So, in Nigeria, if you had the ability to become a leader of Nigeria, a governor or a prime minister, president of the country, what would you do differently?
Well, if I have the opportunity to lead my people, for instance, like I've had before, I won't want to create problems. I will be able to bring everyone on a round table. I'll be able to understand that every person has one problem or the other. For two people to get married, or a man and a woman to get married, they all have interest. This interest must be put together. This interest must be understood. It must be worked out amicably, how you can be able to live happily. Because if the wife is not happy, the husband would never be happy in the house. If the husband is not happy, the wife will never be happy, neither the children too. So we must come together as a people, as a nation, as a community. How are we going to live? We have wealth, we have social things. How are we going to mend it so that it do not destroy the other person? is the first approach in any making a meaningful society, a society that will live in time. We have to really negotiate and understand. Where there is rough ends, I think people go, because it's not going to war. If you go to war, at the end of the day, you still come back to the
problems stay the same.
So why don't you start from that point?
Finding a solution.
Yes.
Well, that is what it's all been about here at No Barriers. Believing to that whole philosophy, in life there are no barriers, there are only solutions. And as we talk about what I do, is it right for myself? Is it right for my family? Is it right for my community? Is it right for the next generation? Diggs has lived through multiple generations, from a child soldier to a tribal community leader. These are the challenges as a society we shall continue to face, and the questions we shall continue to ask as we go forward in this world. Diggs, thank you so much for sharing your story, and I hope someday you will become governor, or if not president of Nigeria.
I will pray so that I can do better. When people are suffering, we should see the light of day.
Right, thank you, Diggs.
Thank you very much.